We heard the two guys talk about it, and there are more home run shots from Reggie Jackson that this guy never got a chance to see. Now, all but one of the 8 participants in the Derby were under 30 years old. Josh Hamilton early on Monday made a very bold prediction.
Is it a little opening right there where you can see the subway? Watch out.
Brashly predicting that he would hit one out of Yankee Stadium. His pitcher is a 71-year-old man named Claiborne Counsell, who pitched to his brother on an American Legion team. His first swing went out, and that was the beginning of the end for everybody else. Hamilton hit a monstrous home run to right center. Ian Kinsler, his teammate, watched that one travel 502 feet. His teammates had all said, guys, that these were things they'd seen all season.
Yeah, they mentioned it during the round. That, you know, nothing surprised them what this man can do on a baseball field.
His next swing went down the line to right. This was a laser shot, kind of a heat seeker, his 4th home run. And this one traveled further than the previous 502-foot shot by 2 more feet.
He hit all kinds of, just prodigious power, hitting absolute bombs, and nobody came close to this distance.
No. He almost hit himself because they kept putting him up, watching his home run. He almost nailed himself on the big screen. With 6 homers and 5 outs, he goes to the upper deck and right. Now, Edinson Volquez, of course, who he was traded for, basically brought out the suitcase of cash and said, let's end it here. It's yours. Walk.
You know, you talk about the display he put on right here. When he came to spring training, he was knocking it out of the stadium at that particular point in batting practice. Those guys knew what we didn't know at that time.
Feeling bad for the people in the low sheets who weren't getting enough, he hit one there. His 10th home run goes to the upper deck in right field, and it really looked effortless, like he wasn't sweating, but Milton Bradley, his other Ranger teammate, apparently found something that was sweating. A no-doubter to right for his 11th home run. Boys and girls, if you missed it when it happened, he hasn't even gotten hot yet. Next pitch. And then he pulls a T.O. moment, like he calls a timeout to sign a baseball for one of the other All-Stars' children. You take that, I'll get back to doing what I do best.
Well, he has what scouts call light tower power. He can just hit them high and far.
Counsell was throwing them beautifully. He was just putting swing after swing after swing. He wasn't missing any. And on both nights, he sat away from his teammates.
It's amazing to take that many swings, even in batting practice, and never miss the barrel of the bat.
Bucky, you once, in your career high season, hit 21 homers. He's got 16 now in the highlight, and we're not close to being done.
Well, I might have hit more than 21 this season if Claiborne was tossing to me.
Hamilton monster shot to center for his 17th home run. With 8 outs, he caught fire. Not like he hasn't been warm yet, but then he caught fire. His 18th goes 25 rows up. At this point, every other competitor realized we're overmatched.
That's a short porch in right field, 314 down the line, but there was nothing cheap about any single home run he hit.
His 5th in a row is his 20th.
He didn't stop at the porch. He went to the back of the house.
Yes, he did.
The one thing he did do, Carl, he stayed right center field, and then yanked the few to the right field, right down the line. But he stayed right center most of the night.
Big Papi apparently had seen enough. He kind of walked off. But while he was walking off, he was booed unmercifully. You couldn't slow down the Hamilton Express.
Hamilton took some breaks, too, to kind of at least catch his breath in that first round, just to keep it going.
That pitch was on his fist, and he hit it out.
That's a strong man, Carl.
So all we really needed at this point was a pitcher and a hitter, because look at the catcher. He had nothing to do. A ball never got to him. I mean, the ball never got to the catcher.
He served about as much purpose as Phillips sometimes.
25th home run, most in any round in home run derby history. Apparently David Ortiz came back, and he was going to be impressed. A drink of water for a little boy. Woo! Next swing, home run 26 in the round. Now he's become silly, and he's being looked at by the 54,000 here as a freak. I mean, he's a freak. Counsell wipes the sweat off his pitching hand. Milton Bradley was arguably the greatest bench coach around. I mean, he was toweling anybody off.
I tell you what, when you're 71 years old, you got to go out and give Claiborne a little rub down.
12 in a row, and his 28th home run. He had 28 home runs in a round. 13 in a row. The first round home runs covered more than Wow. When's the last time you ran, Crucky? 2.3 miles.
Just this morning, as a matter of fact.
2.36 miles of home runs in the first round for Josh Hamilton. Here's the totals. Everyone else was reduced to spectator status. This was the U.S. Open 2000 Pebble Beach. Second place was a great tournament. Tiger Woods was ahead by 12. He's ahead by 20. Josh Hamilton afterwards spoke with Aaron Andrews.
You dreamed about this. How did it compare to the dream?
Well, obviously in the dream, I didn't know how many I hit. I was just being able to talk to you about it. You know, it's amazing over the past few years what God's done in my life and how quickly He's done it. So I just feel blessed to have Clay here, throwing some batting practice to me and people watching.
You had all these fans chanting your name in Yankee Stadium. How did that sound?
I tell you, folks, I got chills. I got chills. Thank you guys so much.
Is there anything better than to look at that slow-mo, watching that hand release off the bat as he rolled him over? So the most home runs in a home run derby in a single round. He blew away Bobby Abreu, who had 24 in D-City a couple years ago. David Ortiz gets to the finals based on what they did in the second round. He actually went down in the old tunnel, took a break as much as he needed to. Justin Morneau, he had 8 home runs in round 1. He then goes deep for the 7th time in round 2 to the upper deck in right. So that was his 15th. That sent Lance Berkman packing. Ryan Braun only totaled 14, so Morneau gets to the final with 17. Hamilton says, I'm going to take a few practice swings. Now, if you watch the coverage, the practice swings didn't do what happened in the first round. There was no 13 in a row. In fact, by the end of the practice round, he had 4 homers, but he had 4 outs as well. It just didn't look the same. Now, he was going to try to save his energy, but it looked different.
Well, he knew he didn't have to hit, but I think that he had a different intensity level there, and I think he was a little bit fatigued at that time as well, and it may have thrown him off kilter some.
All right, so the second round totals show Hamilton clear by 15 from Justin Morneau. Morneau wasn't going to hit 15 in the final round, but the totals get wiped out when the final round begins, so we're back to 0. And as the final round began, everybody was kind of wondering, all right, how much is Morneau going to hit so we can all get to watch Hamilton? I mean, he reduced everybody else to secondary status, but Morneau quietly went to the upper deck and right, and he finished with 5 home runs in the final round.
Tell you what's made of him, though. He had a couple balls where he got jammed. He hit a roller to second, hit one off the end of the bat, and you thought he's done at 3. Then all of a sudden he started stoking it up a little bit and hit a couple more.
But Hamilton, you figure 6? I mean, he's got 32 already. 6 more?
You figured it'd be easy for him to get 6, but what was very impressive was something I remember is the people on their feet for Josh.
At Yankee Stadium.
To win.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Hamilton, they were screaming. His second homer traveled 449 feet. Morneau knew he was the second best hitter in this competition this evening. But with 2 homers and 5 outs, this one goes 491. He didn't hit as many. They certainly traveled as far, and he needed 3 to win. But you could tell he was 3 outs away from ending it. Now 2 outs away. Milton Bradley came out. I wonder, a little pressure here. You know, I'm down to the last swing.
I think a little bit fatigued and just spinning off the ball some and just not able to get underneath it.
So Morneau ends up the home run derby champ by virtue of his total in the final round. Congratulations, Justin.
Well, I was lucky that we got reset after the first 2 rounds. You know, this was his show. He did a great job. I mean, he deserved to win it, but you know, I got lucky that he got a little tired, but he did a great job, and it was amazing. It was one of the best performances I've ever seen, and you know, I'm just lucky to be out here right now, and this has been a lot of fun for me.
So here we go with an all-star game for the record books. 4th and final all-star game. George Steinbrenner really in tears, hugged by Yogi Berra, all the Hall of Fame Yankees. There's Goose who's going in, Reggie. They all threw out the first pitch to the Yankees, and of course Joe Girardi, the manager, with the hug to Yogi Berra. So where do we begin? Well, let's take it 2-0 in the 7th inning. Edinson Volquez, the Reds, pitching against Red Sox, who all got booed until now with J.D. Drew. Back. Gone. Two-run shot, we're tied at 2.
Threw him a two-seam fastball run back out over the plate. J.D. Drew deposited it in right field.
Speaking of booing, Jonathan Papelbon got booed. Miguel Tejada got stealing second. Navarro's throw goes to center field, now on the air. Tejada is at third. Sac fly, Adrian Gonzalez. 3-2 National League lead. Joe Girardi, the Yankee, went to warm up Mariano Rivera. One more time, there was a great scene in the bullpen. Now Billy Wagner, Mets on. Brady Sizemore at second. Evan Longoria was not even on the roster opening day. 22 years of age. Ground rule double. We're tied at 3.
Goes down in this situation. It was a tough pitch, but he went down and got it and hooked it down the left field line.
K-Rod was in the 9th, but Mariano comes in during the 9th. Class move by Terry Francona, striking out Ryan Ludwig. And then the double play. Navarro guns out Christian Guzman. We go to extras. Rivera still pitching. Poor Dan Ugla came up with runners at the corners. 1 out. Was not a night that he'd like. 4 to 6 to 3. A close one, but 2 Rangers. Kinsler and Young turned the play. 2 double plays. Rivera, who twice could have got a win. Bottom of the 10th, Aaron Cook with a it's a ground ball that Ugla is unable to handle.
Hey, well, this is not an all-star game Dan Ugla's going to remember too fondly.
And then Carlos Quentin under the glove of Ugla. And then Young advances to third on back-to-back E's, the bewitching hour. But how about the job by Aaron Cook? Sizemore grounds to Ugla, who forces him at home. He beats the relay. Then Longoria to third. Christian Guzman, normally a shortstop, making the play.
Made some real nice plays in this game. How about Aaron Cook? He got 5 ground balls in this inning, picked up his teammates, and shut them down after loading the bases with nobody out.
And he got 5 grounders. That was Morneau out him. The play by Tejada.
Unbelievable play for former MVP to be in this game this late. And to do the things he did, it just speaks how much he wanted this.
Michael Young at bat, bottom of the 11th, singles up the middle. Navarro trying to score, but Nate, he, get off of my clout. He's out at the plate.
Well, great throw by Nate right there, and then the pickup by Russell Martin right there. Short hop, making a great play and blocking the plate. Outstanding.
So out but not done yet. Next batter, Carlos Quentin. And Aaron Cook, the ground ball specialist, which you have to be in Colorado, gets another one, guys. Quentin grounds to third, and he's out of another jam. Now to the 12th. George Sherrill, the one-time Winnipeg Goldeye of the Northern League. Adrian Gonzalez, bases loaded, 2 outs, strikes him out, and they get out of the jam. Bottom of the 12th, in Kinsler with 2 on in scoring position. Guzman there again, nice and smooth, 3 consecutive jams. The AL can't convert. Bottom of the 13th, 1 o'clock. Drew to second. You know it's going to be a bad hop after 2 errors.
Well, I tell you, it finds a way to get to you every time you make a couple of errors, and the ball will just find it ugly in that situation.
So an error ugly, but Carlos Marmol strikes out Quentin. We go to the 14th, Chicago against Chicago. Now Nate McLeod leading off the 14th. Does he do it? Back. Needed 3 backs to get it out of there. J.D. Drew is there, a long out, and the NL had another long fly ball, but now we go on to the 15th. Bottom of the 5th, some Red Bull.
Oh, he needs it, and we do too.
Yeah, he ain't even in the game, and he needs it.
Bases loaded, 1 out against Brad Lidge, who warmed up about 6 times. Justin Morneau, the potential winning run at third. Michael Young to right. Corey Hart to throw. Close play, but he's safe. He's safe. Almost got him at the plate, but after 4 hours and 50 minutes in 15 innings, with 34 strikeouts and 23 pitchers and 63 players and several hoarse voices on the set, the American League now 12 straight years has not lost an All-Star game. They win it in 15 by the count of 4-3 in a game that set all sorts of records. It was odd. It was exasperating. Just ask those that sat in the dugout.
It got wild. But you know what? You knew it going in. You got the rules. Everything's laid out. We had what we had. And I'm so proud of the way the pitchers we gave the ball to showed up. The defense, we played late. Unfortunately, we let 2 leads get away. But that was a pretty You know, God, he don't like to lose. But I'm proud of the way our team played. I'm not happy we lost by 1 run.
Every single player, every single player was on the top step. The energy, the enthusiasm. They knew where we were at. And I hope that doesn't get overlooked by fans and people, because you're talking about some of the best players in the world that are rooting for each other. I know we only have the opportunity to say they're ours for a couple days, but it was an honor.
That's great. Well spoken by Terry Francona. It was an honor. And the American League, well, they keep the honor. As we said last time, the National League won an All-Star game 1996 in Philadelphia. Of course, the AL had not won an extra inning game in an All-Star game, whatever that means, but that's by the boards. And it tied the home run by Tony Perez off a catfish hunter in the old Big A back in 1967 for the longest All-Star game as far as innings goes.
AAA All-Star Game. All these players will end up being in the bigs, or, because it's AAA, will help with roadside service for stranded motorists. And the game, as you see, has gone to the dogs. All right, Pacific Coast League, International League. The PCL down 2-zip going to the ninth. They tie it up, and then Mark Sacamano RBI single to center. They get 6th in the ninth, so the PCL leading 6-2. That should be safe, right? Good comeback. But in the home half, the Internationals, it's 6-3, and then Red Sox minor leaguer Chris Carter takes a fastball clock at 100 miles an hour from the Cruz minor leaguer Luis Pena to make it a 1-run game, but Jonathan Van Every flies out to right to end the game, so the PCL All-Stars hold on and win it 6-5. Now let us relive the big league